What is culture? In a recent interview, the official vice president of the United States was asked this question: what is culture? And the official vice president of the United States, in effect, answered that culture is the fleeting expression of fleeting feelings reflecting fleeting fashions. We could be more sophisticated and say that culture is an expression ultimately of the zeitgeist. And this is always changing. The spirit of the times, in other words, the fashions of the time. Right. That answer should be evident. That answer is outrageously barbaric. On that answer, of course, everything is culture, nothing is culture. What does culture mean? In vulgar parlance, culture is behavior, right? Whatever we do is our culture. The culture of the Nazi, the culture of Donald Duck fans, the culture of the kitchen. Whatever people do is their culture. This has become the sense that people give, or that people have accepted, for the term culture. As anyone with a grain of sense easily recognizes, culture refers to cultivation. The cultivation of plants requires sun, earth, soil, minerals, right? It requires water, certain ingredients, without which, well, the plant won't grow. It will grow stifled, it will not grow at all, it won't grow properly. The ingredients are to be there in the proper proportions and quantities. Right, but what about the human being? Well, the human being as well requires cultivation. Otherwise, he won't develop as he is intended to develop. Just as the apple tree won't develop as it is meant to develop. Well, according to people such as the official vice president of the United States, apparently there is no proper development of the apple tree. There is no proper development of the human being. Perhaps the objection could be that the proper development of the human being involves recognition that we are simply there to express the zeitgeist. What is the zeitgeist? What is the fashion? Well, the fashion is whatever goes. The historically ever-changing, the moment of a flux, some kind of a firework of evolution. So whatever that moment is, in a meaningless existence ultimately, because there's no telos, there's no connection really, whatever that is, we are expressing. We're feeling it, and then we express those feelings. Well, why not barbarism? Why not outright violence? The times call for it. Why not? There is no standard. All is mechanically determined. All is nothing. And we're all in it together. This is complete rubbish, complete nonsense. And this is, unfortunately, disgracefully, I should say, this is a view that is taught in schools and has been taught for years in one way or another. So it is not altogether surprising. It is sad that an official representative of the United States is to speak in those terms. What are we to say beyond that? The response is the alternative is obvious, the only sane alternative. There is such a thing as a cultivation of the human being. The human being requires certain ingredients. What are those ingredients? Well, that depends on the telos and the end, the proper end of the human being. Is that end to be the expression of the vortex? Or is it to be the ultimate image and reflection, not of meaninglessness, but of meaning, of the fullness of meaning? So really, we're getting back to this problem of whether there is fundamentally what we call God. In other words, a divine mind, a mind that embraces all that is physical, or whether there is no such thing, and that, therefore, there is uninformed matter, there is a vortex, and God is just a fetish, it's just a manner of speech, it's just a metaphor, that even a superstition that people appeal to when they are incapable of facing the vortex. So the human being, according to people such as the official vice president of the United States, and many professors in universities, are prophets of this doctrine, on account of which we are just expressing the absence of meaning. Now, that's the alternative. You say, well, is there meaning or not? Well, what they're saying is simply idiotic. It's meaningless. It's an expression of meaninglessness. They're speaking for nothing. Is this conducive to our understanding? Is this in harmony with our desire to understand? No. Are we born to express nonsense? Are we born to be stupid? I mean, it comes down to that. It boils down to that. Are we born to be shameless and simply idiotic? Well, all right. Well, there will be people under the influence who might go for that proposition. And at this point, we're faced with this classical Augustinian distinction between the citizens of God and the citizens of the earth, the barbarians. All right, those who jump onto the bandwagon of barbarism cannot be convinced to step down and to allow for meaning. They will simply be there to destroy any expression, to counter any expression of meaning, any discourse that is meaningful. They will trash it, they will demonize it, they will ostracize it in the best of cases, or simply assault it violently. So this is key to that mad discourse. It resorts inevitably, sooner or later, to violence, as people such as Dostoevsky pointed out. If there is no God, once you assume that there is no ultimate meaning, then what happens is that you're expressing meaninglessness, and ultimately anything that goes against your power of expression is going to deserve to be silenced, no matter what, because there's no standard. So the ultimate imperative is expressing meaninglessness. So how do I do it? Any means are justified. There you have it. And if I can't impose this meaninglessness or the expression of meaninglessness by smiling kindly, my kindness will rapidly turn into barbaric violence. There you have it. And it will be justified in my own madness, be it private or collective. Little does it matter.